हाँ नहीं, करते रुको, कुछ करते इसका. All right. So guys, let us start with our today's lecture. And what are we going to learn in today's class? No, no, we are going to put you in the batch in one go. We have your Excel with the fee paid details, right? Now, I will tell you what needs to be done for getting you the access. I'll tell you the procedure, and all classes will be shifted to app. Is this clear? Fine. So we have near about 100 students in your batch. Okay, this existing batch who have joined the program, and the list is ready. Online, offline, the 100 students in your batch. Is this clear? We'll be adding that up because there are people taking only recorded class. There are people taking only live and recorded. Some people are coming offline, mix and match. So that data is ready with us. Okay, right. Now let us continue further. Now, guys, we people are going to look at the concept of serialization and deserialization. We are going to look at what is serialization and deserialization in Java. This concept is related to your file handling only here. File handling is not over. I've talked about file class, file reader, file writer, buffered reader, buffered writer. But we are going to now discuss about the next concept, which is serialization, and deserialization in Java. Is this clear? Now, observe. Serialization and deserialization in Java are process that allows you to convert objects into byte. I will explain this. Do not worry. Okay, objects into byte streams and vice versa, enabling easy storage and transmission of objects. What does it mean? Observe. Now let's put this in our way. Now I'm creating one object in my program, guys. Let's call this object as A1 is equal to new A. Can you tell me where are these objects getting created on? Heap memory. Where are we creating this object? This object is getting created in heap memory. Now, where is heap memory? It's a part of RAM memory. It's a part of RAM memory, correct? So anything that is on RAM memory, can I tell it is temporary in nature? Can I tell that it is temporary in nature? Because moment I shut down the system, all that content of my RAM is, that's it, correct, flushed out. But now what if I want to store this object permanently? Correct. I want to store this object state permanently. How do I store the object permanently? We never studied this earlier. All I know is object is created on RAM, and after that, what happens? A garbage collector comes in picture. Unused object, it will remove it from your heap memory that is on RAM. But now, whatever the object I've created, I want to store this object somewhere permanently. How do I do it? That is where the concept of serialization and deserialization, it defines that if you want to store this object permanently, then do one thing. You take this particular object and convert that object into byte stream. Byte stream means zeros, zeros and ones. Okay, convert that into byte stream, which means zeros and what? Ones. Is this clear? And after I convert this whole object that is present on RAM in zeros and ones, I will now take that byte code of zeros and ones and I will store it somewhere permanently. I can store that in a database, or I can store that in a file as well. So I'll just create one file called as file ser. Okay. Now this object that was on RAM, now with the help of serialization, I'll convert this object into zeros and ones, and these zeros and ones is what I'm going to store that into the file named as file.ser. Now file is not created on RAM memory. When you're creating a file, it is created in a permanent storage, like the block storages that we have it in our system, D drive, E drive, like that, permanent system, permanent storage system. I'm creating this file. Correct? No? So when I create this file .ser stands for serialization. Correct? I'm creating this file and storing the object content as zeros and ones in the file permanently. Now, even if you shut down the system, your object on the RAM is flushed out. But the object that is stored as binaries in your file now will still exist. Okay. Now what I will do? From here, I will do deserialization. Meaning, I will read zeros and ones from the file. And after reading zeros and ones from the file, I will form the object back, which is called as deserialization. So tell me, what is serialization? You're converting the object into binaries and you're storing that object into a file system. What is deserialization? What is deserialization? You're converting the binaries, okay, of the file back to object. Sir, how do we do it? So for this, we will write one program. You need not remember this program. Okay, we will not do this further. When you're working on projects, we need not do that. But yes, when we are using concept like hibernate, okay, hibernate, does it uses serialization? Let's ask a question. Okay, so look at that. Hibernate itself does not directly use Java serialization, but it relies on Java serialization for certain operations. Okay, so somewhere serialization in Hibernate, session serialization. So somewhere there is a built-in concept which is implemented in Hibernate. I need not do this. When you're using Hibernate, internally inside Hibernate, there is a serialization concept being used, which we will not develop, but we should have the idea about it. Is this clear, everyone? Everybody got it? Okay. So let's go back here. Let's start with this practicals. So firstly, I want to mention one very important point before I proceed further. That is, see, whenever I'm creating any class in Java, let's say I created class A. Any class that you create in Java, by default, it is a child class of object class in Java. Moment I create class A, by default, it will become a child class of object. So the supermost class in Java is object class, which means parent of all classes in Java is object class. If I now create class B, if I create class B, automatically this will become a child class of what? Object. Fine. Are you understanding now? Object class is the supermost class present in Java. All the Java classes that you are developing will be the child class of object. I hope this part is clear. Everybody got this now? Okay. Now, see, very important. Okay, I'm going to talk about class upcasting, right? Not completely, but as in when we keep getting time in between, it's a small topic. I'll keep covering that. Right now, let us understand what is class upcasting. Now, let's say I have class A and then I have class B, where we will write extends A. Can you tell me which is the parent here? Which is the child here? Okay, let's write here class C extends A. Can you tell me which is the child class here now? B and C. B and C. Now, what is class upcasting? Class upcasting is a process where the child class object's address is stored in a parent reference variable. Is stored in what? Okay, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Hold on. Okay, now what do you mean by that is this. I'll now create a parent reference variable, but I will store the child class object's address into it. Okay, I can again now same reference variable I can use and I can create another child class object's address into it. Sir, what is the advantage you see here? When I'm doing class upcasting, advantage. Okay, the advantage that I see here is now the reference variable A1 is becoming reusable. Correct? The same reference variable A1 can hold B's object's address and even class C's object's address. Which means one reference variable of the parent class can hold all child class objects address, which is class upcasting. For example, object is the supermost class in Java. So can I write object O1 is equal to new B? Yes, I can do that. Why? As long as it's a parent reference variable, it has the capability of storing child class objects address into it. Is this clear now? Same way, if I now write here object, oh, okay, again, let's take here now O1 is equal to new C. It is possible because now automatically class C will become child class of object. Got it? So object class, since it's a parent of all classes in Java, it can act as what? The parent reference variable. I can make use of object class and store any child class objects address into it. Is this part clear? Everyone, did you get this? Any doubt? Any doubt? Any questions? No. Okay. So let us now continue from here further. And now what are we going to learn is the next thing. That is, what is class downcasting? See, we just saw what is class upcasting. What is class upcasting? Let's see what definition it has to give. Upcasting refers in Java to the process of converting a subclass reference to a superclass reference. Subclass reference to superclass reference. Here, animal class, parent, child class, dog. Right now, what am I doing? See this here. I am now creating a dog object. But the dog object's address, I'm copying to what? Animal class. Are you understanding now? The child class reference, I'm able to keep it in what? Parent reference. Is this clear, everyone, now? Okay. Then what do you mean by downcasting? Okay. Downcasting of a class. Other way. Parent object's address, we are storing it in the child reference variable. Downcasting refers to process of converting reference variable of superclass to subclass. Other way, meaning like this. See here. Now here, I want, okay, I want to store object A. I want to store object A into what? Into what? B. But you cannot store that directly. A is parent, B is child. But when you want to do downcasting, you will have to mention here class B. Because downcasting has an explicit syntax. Example here. This is upcasting. Child objects address being stored in parent. But what if I want to now create new object and store its address in B? It is upcasting or downcasting? Downcasting. Why downcasting? Because parent object's address you are storing in child reference variable. In order to do that, you will have to write here. Did you understand now? Everyone clear with this part? Please tell me. Everyone clear with this part? Please tell me. Right? Everyone clear with this? Please tell me. Excellent. Now, let's continue further. Now, what are we going to do is the next thing. I will implement this code now. So, first step, let me do one thing. Let me go here and create one Java class. Okay? Whose object I need to serialize. Go to new, select class A, and this object I want to serialize. What do you mean by serialize? What do you mean by serialize? Convert the object into binaries and store that somewhere. That is what we saw here also, no? The definition somewhat very similar it was giving. Can you read this here? Right? We just explained that in a different way. But what is the definition given here? Can you see this here? What is the definition given? Serialization is a process of converting object into byte streams so that it can be easily saved to a file, transmitted over a network, or stored in memory. It can be any memory, not just file. Okay, that is what we are going to do here now, practically. Okay, so what I'll do is now I'll go here, and in order to serialize this particular thing, firstly I'll create some variable name is equal to mic. In order to serialize a Java class object, you will have to firstly make this class implement one internal interface called as serializable. Sir, we don't know what is an interface. I know that. I've not talked about it yet. Simply remember, there is something called as interface. Got it? So, if you want to serialize a class A, then you need to make that class, if you want to serialize a class object, then that class has to implement serializable interface. Okay? Serializable is an empty interface. Nothing is there in that. Then, sir, what are we doing with empty interface? It is just like permission taking from compiler. By doing this, I'm taking permission from compiler. Look, for this class A, give me permission so that its object, I can convert that to byte stream. Otherwise, converting the object to byte stream is not possible. Okay. So before you start serialization, the class whose object you want to serialize, very clearly mention that here. Is this part clear? Everyone, did you understand this now? Okay. Now what is the next thing? The next thing, to serialize this now, I will start the code here. I'll go to new, create a class B. And now in this class B, I'm going to write here main method. Which object you want to serialize? A's object. Can I serialize class B object? No. Why I cannot serialize class B object? Because for serialization, what is mandatory rule? If I don't write this, that object cannot be converted to bytes. Can I serialize this? No. If I want to serialize, what I have to do here? But I'm not serializing it, right? This is not I'm serializing it. What am I serializing it? A. So let's write A1 is equal to, this is the object I have to serialize. Correct? How to serialize? So, serialize, in order to do, I have to convert object to binaries. And that binaries I have to write to file. I'm writing binaries to the file. In order to write binaries to the file, we will use file output stream. There is a class called as output stream. Now this will automatically create a file g/n/file.ser. Okay, you can give any extension. Give it as .txt also, it will work. Okay, it's not that serialization file extension has to be ser. Give .txt and try, it will still work. Okay, now what is the exception we are getting here? Unhandled exception, file not found. Is it compile time or runtime? Compile time. So is the code correct or code is wrong? That is why it is giving me exception. Even if the code is correct, it will give you exception. Is this clear? Everybody understood so far? Everybody understood so far? Yes. Now, next thing. Now we are going to write here. Now I want to take this object A1 and I have to serialize this object. This object I have to serialize. Now, in order to firstly convert object to byte stream, first step is take object, convert to byte stream. Then that byte stream I will write into this file. So convert object to byte stream, we will use another built-in class called as object output stream. Object output stream is equal to new object output stream. So what this will do? This will help me to convert object to binaries. And that binaries I'm going to write into the file using this. Are you understanding now? So this will give me a method to convert object to binary. So this is the object output stream dot write object. So there's a method called as write object. Are you understanding now? So what this method will do? This method will convert this object A1 to byte stream, zeros and ones, and that byte stream I'm going to write into this file using file output stream. That's why it is called as file output stream. Stream means binaries. It's capable of now dealing with the files as binaries. Then what you will do now? After writing, what is mandatory? Close the file. Did you understand the code? Everyone now? Now right click, unwanted import, control D, remove it. Now right click, run as Java application. Let's go to the file /n G drive. We'll directly open that up. C:/C:/n sorry, G:/n. Is this clear? And you see that one file got created. What is the size of the file? Is it 0 KB? Because 0 KB means file created, no content. File is created, object is serialized, and zeros and ones is written down. We need not remember this program. But if you practice several times, this will also you will remember. Is this clear? Now we need to deserialization. Do deserialization. Online students following, yes. Is this code clear? Firstly, comment. If yes, then I will go with. Then I'll go with what? Deserialization. Okay. Now, can we see the file? Even if you open the file in the text format, whatever it can convert, it will do it. But all the content you might not be able to see it properly. Right? Even if you open the file, right click, open with, I can open the file with a notepad. More apps, notepad, you see. See that? Somewhat some translation has happened automatically. But we will not, the file will not be in that text readable format. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it will not be. Right? Forget about that. We just want this file to store the content. Now we need to deserialize. How to deserialize? Right click, go to new, create a Java class, C. How do you deserialize it, guys, now? So to deserialize, firstly go to the file and read binaries. To read the binaries, we will use file input stream. New file input stream. Where is the file present? G:/n /file.ser. Can you tell me why exception? Try catch, compile type. What happens when I make it exception-y? Can handle any exception. Now what? What is the next thing? Now this FIS will help us read the binaries. Now that binaries that I'm reading from the file, I have to convert to object. This will read zeros and ones going to this file. But after reading that zeros and ones, what do you want to do? Out of that zeros and ones, form an object again. How to form an object? So I will use object input stream is equal to new object input stream. And then after OIS dot read object. Is this clear? That's it. Now when you do OIS dot read object, what it will do? It will convert that zeros and ones automatically to object, deserialized. Okay. Now, what is the return type of it? What is object class here? Supermost class in Java. So object class dot, I can access. Can I access the variable in it? Right? See, supermost class in Java. What is the variable name given by me here? Name. Am I able to access that? Am I able to access that here? X dot name. I'm not able to access that here. So now what I'll do? I will now read object is a parent class. So now what I'll do? Let me do a typecasting. What is typecasting? Now error gone. What is class downcasting? Object was a parent class. The parent class is now downcasted to child class reference variable. Parent class reference variable is now being stored in child class reference variable. After doing that, am I able to now access this? Because the return type of this is object class, but I want it to be changed to class A. Can you see this now? Run. Did you understand? If I now store more content into it, let's say I'll store more content into it. Let's write here password. What is the password now? Testing. Now again serialize. And then after again deserialize. No. Why? Because I did not print the password. Fine. Now run. Now run. Is this clear, everyone? Now, one more question they might ask. Sir, during serialization, at times, during serialization, I have a requirement that I don't want to write all the content to the object. Example, see this here. During serialization, I don't want to write the password to the object. I want to skip writing the password to object because it is sensitive information. I don't want this content to be serialized along with the object because this is sensitive content. So what I will do now, to skip the content writing into object during serialization, we will use a word called as, no, we'll use here transient keyword. Now by making it transient, what will happen? Now when I serialize, the transient keyword will skip writing password into object during serialization. And earlier I was getting this password. No, now you see. Now you see. So how do you skip writing the content to the object during serialization? This is what we will be doing. Is this clear? Everyone got this now? Online students, offline students. I hope you're all now clear with it. And there is no doubts with regards to this. Right? Last class alumni meet attended? Yes. क्या नया syllabus पढ़ा? हाँ? Debugging. Then J unit. हाँ, वो तो हमने पहले भी देखा था. बट रिसेंट alumni meet में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट हमने क्या देखा? Student should know J unit because people were writing J unit test cases. You see, one of our old student 2 years back who got placed, he's writing what? J unit test cases. Fine. Okay. So firstly write the program, then I'll give you notes for it. All right. Write down. I already talked about, no? See, if you now see here, one advantage is transmitting the object over network. Correct? You want to transmit the data over a network. Okay? Like from point A to point B. I want to transfer the object. Then I'm going with what? Serialization. Second, we also saw somewhere indirectly Hibernate internally is using serialization. Okay? So there might be a requirement that you want to transmit the data from one network to another. See here, you can just type use cases. Don't do this for all, it's of no use. Okay, no, not the use case of this. Serialization, serialization, right? Observe what it says. Now, persisting object state to a file. One use case that we saw now. Persisting means saving. Technically, we don't use the term save. What we do is we use the term persist. Persist means you're saving something. One of the most common use of serialization is to persist the state of an object to a file or database. So that's what Hibernate does. Hibernate, whatever object is there, that object is what it can basically, the content of that object is what basically it save it to the database, which is called as ORM. We'll see later, right? Now, example, see that is what they have done. Storing user preferences, application settings, or any object state between program runs. Transferring object over network, remote communication. Serialization is heavily used in remote communication between different systems or devices, especially in distributed application, web services. We'll talk about web services later. In web services, also internally serialization, deserialization is happening. API development. Web services means API development. Object is serialized and transmitted over a network where the receiver deserializes them into usable object. We will talk about that. Anyways, API, web services, they are same. Okay. Then in frameworks like Hibernate, serialization is used when object is stored in a second level cache. Serialization ensures that object can be efficiently saved and retrieved from cache, which might be shared between different servers. We'll talk about what is cache memory and all when we're talking about it, Redis cache as a part of our tool. So just to give you some basic idea, there are a lot of usages, but do not scratch your head about it right now. It's too early for you. If you now try to think about it, nothing you will understand. You have to learn the concept at the right time with the right maturity of information having in mind. That will become easy. Done. Okay. We'll go to the next window. Please write down. Clear, guys? Okay. So let's write the definition for it now. Let's write the definition for it. So we just started here somewhere. Serialization. So serialization and deserialization is a process of converting objects in a byte stream and vice versa, enabling easy storage and transmission of objects. That's it. We don't require any complex things to be explained, and the program itself tells everything with clarity. Is this clear, everyone? We'll keep using upcasting, downcasting in several places. We'll keep talking about. Mainly, it will be used for built-in classes. Okay, like how it happened now, object. So mainly you will see the usages of these things happening in built-in classes. Write the definition. Done. Okay. So I'll stop here. See you in the next class because your lunch time 2:30 lunch will get over in PG. Tomorrow I will continue further. Okay. हाँ कल क्या है? कल तो 4 तारीख है ना? हाँ कल सेम टाइम. फिफ्थ को थोड़ा डिले होगा. Fifth I will tell you well in advance because the first class for a new batch it is. So their delay will happen. Okay. I might not be able to start exactly at 12:30 on 5th. We'll keep the class, but little delay will happen. Fourth, as usual, tomorrow there is no change. Tomorrow what is it? कुछ है क्या? हॉलीडे क्या? Then सेम टाइम क्यों पूछ रहे हो? 12:30 बजे. I'll tell you.